against 7 strangers, does that not make you a serial killer?
So I didn't kill them every day, did I? Did I go out there every day and say, I'm gonna kill? If I did, there would be
Well, no,
hundreds.
it took you 12 months.
Then he brings up Rex again, and that's when I just looked at him and I started stabbing him.
If I had shot my own children, would I not have done a good job of it?
First of all, women generally don't commit crimes this heinous.
Right.
This is usually the domain of men.
That's unfortunate.
Hi, Gabe.
Hey, Danny.
How you doing?
I was doing a lot better before we spent the last hour trying to
It's
make...
like been an hour and a half.
Oh, no. Well, I hope it's not a long episode for your sake.
It is not. We spent the last hour and a half trying to fix some audio stuff, and we kind of just reverted back to what we always do. That's not perfect audio, but it's usable. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
Sorry in advance for the small glitches we've been having throughout the last several episodes. If you are a tech audio expert, send us a message on Instagram.
Yeah, seriously. We are at like the end of our rope here. Gabe bought something to try to fix it. It didn't work. So here we are again. Anyways, last week's episode. Well, actually, wait. How are you doing? Did you answer? You said you were doing better before, before I came over.
Besides that, not too bad. I'm training a lot more these days in my sport of choice, Muay Thai, which is like kickboxing, but you can also throw knees and elbows.
Does that mean you've tried the sauna?
No, but I brought it up to my girlfriend and we're going to go try it out.
Nice.
But to see if I can stay a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm doing well in the gym. It's just I'm thinking of taking another fight in May.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Nice.
But how are you?
Good. I, still have anxiety as usual. And
doesn't that go away after a while?
Ever since January, it's been really bad for some reason. But it's so frustrating. It's not frustrating. It's like my heart's like always racing. And I should really start wearing my Apple Watch to see if it's like in my head or if it's actually happening. Because I feel like that's probably important.
Even if it's just in your head, it still affects the body.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I have found that like having a reason for my heart to race, like exercising is good. And sauna, good. So, yeah. And then I accidentally signed up for a golf tournament in June, so I have to learn how to play golf.
Why? Why did you sign up?
It's like a work thing. So, I've never played golf in my life, and everybody was like, oh, you'll be great. We'll teach you. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll do it. And I signed up, and then I went and actually tried it. And I was like, you guys severely, overestimated my hand-eye coordination here.
Look, it's the kind of sport really old, out-of-shape dudes can be good at. I think they'll be fine.
But they've been doing it for decades.
Yeah, but you're young and your brain is more
2 months.
It's fine.
I don't. We'll see. We'll see. My goal is to not be the worst person in the 200-person tournament. So
those are good odds.
You would think.
I mean, it's possible someone doesn't show up. And they get a 0 by default.
Sure. Let's go with that. But if you go do a hole in one, you can win a car.
Wait, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess because they're big courses, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be easy.
No, the odds are like 1 in 30,000.
All you need is a friend to camp out at the golf course the night before.
And put a ball in there.
Yeah, with your name on it. Just make sure you go first.
I don't know how it actually works. I've never played a round of golf. I don't know how hole in one works. I don't think they line up 144 people and you all just shoot towards this hole.
Like a shooting range. Just
I don't know. But that's not helping with my anxiety because I'm kind of freaking out about it, but it'll be fine.
It's just a game. And I think the demographic of people competing there will naturally not expect you to do well.
That's fair.
So you're not going to surprise or embarrass yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Okay.
Just train like every day. I mean,
Yeah.
really, it's like you're not going to get sore
The
practicing
goal
golf.
is to do better than at least one man there.
I'd be surprised if it's not like 90% men.
Oh, most definitely will be.
Yeah.
Just because the field that I work in, it's like a work thing. It's a bunch of people in the same field coming to play golf in this tournament that raises money for charity. I don't know, but
Just practice in your backyard. At least like, because I think hitting the ball really hard to get close to the general area you're going.
it's shockingly hard.
Yeah, but that's like at least you just hit it.
I tried playing last weekend for the first time, and after about like 30 minutes, I got a good handle on it, but the ball doesn't go far, and you want it to go far, but it's fixable. It's fine. We'll get there.
Yeah. I think that's easier than learning like the finer control of it. Like once you're near the hole,
Yeah.
you don't want to be stuck perpetually like overshooting it.
I also wonder, because I was using Kobe's grandfather's golf clubs, and he's tall
Yeah.
and a man. So Kobe's coworker has a wife who was doing golf and like completely lost interest a couple of years ago. And she's like, oh, you can use my clubs. So I'm going to borrow them and see if that helps.
It should.
Don't know if it will, but
It should make a difference.
I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't know. It's fine. So anyways, other than that, I'm doing really well.
Nice.
Yeah. Minus the anxiety, the never ending feeling of doom, signing myself up for a tournament in a sport I've never played. It's great. We're all good.
We all need to find a way of feeling like we have control. And signing up for tournaments in sports we don't play is one of them.
That is not one of them. That is a great way to feel out of control. I've been looking at off-grid living to feel in control.
Yeah, okay, but one of those is more expensive than the other, so.
That's fair. Okay. So other than that, yeah, that's a good catch up.
Cool. Then here, let's not keep you here too long. I know you have things to do and it's almost noon.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's jump into it.
Let's do it. We are going to start off with a man named Cody Lee. Yes, a man named Cody Lee Johnson, who was born in 1988 in San Jose, California. His mom got divorced, and he grew up in a single mom household. They moved like single parent household, but it was his mom. They moved to Kalispell, Montana to get out of California and find somewhere smaller and quieter and safer, because I guess San Jose is not.
Well, any big city is going to be more dangerous than any small city.
Yeah, Kalispell, Montana had like a population of around 20,000, which is significantly smaller than San Jose. And also, they seem to lean more conservative. Kalispell,
Represent.
yeah, leave California.
Yeah.
Kalispell, Montana is about 20 miles from the Glacier National Park. So it's kind of like a touristy town, where it's empty during the winter, but then in summer it fills up with tourists who are going to go see the Glacier National Park.
Yeah, I visited a town in Colorado that's like this big ass lake, and we went during the off season, and it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's crazy how like these tourist towns that rely on like one season. It's very interesting. This is one of those towns. So Cody ends up falling in love with the outdoors, as I think, anybody would who lived here near the Glacier National Park and just in the woods and stuff. And he also ends up really getting into cars. And after high school, he gets a job building custom cars. I don't know what that means, but some kind of shop that does custom stuff. And his life was fairly on track and he was happy. He knew he eventually wanted to get married and have kids, but he hadn't met that girl yet until he met Jordan Graham. Now, Jordan was born August 8th, 1991. She was born in Montana, Kalispell, and born and raised, very active in the outdoors, very active in the church.
Great birth month.
We both have
Don't tell
know
anything.
people who have birthdays in August. She was also described as very introverted and shy. Again, very into church. Like,
Sorry, one more time. How did they even meet then?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay. Thought I missed it or something.
No. So after graduating, yeah, because he wasn't like, like, I hate religion, I don't believe in God, but he just like wasn't part of that. I don't know. Like, he didn't go to church. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so was he like atheist, or was he just like someone who's like, yeah, I believe in God, I just don't go to church or ever think about it?
I think that one.
Okay.
Yeah. After graduating high school, she began to nanny and babysit kids as a way of working, and she loved it. And her end goal was to be, a nice Christian mom, as it seems to be common. I don't know what to tell you other than that.
Trad wife's making a comeback.
No comment. She met Cody when she was 20 years old, and Cody was 24 through like friends of friends. And Cody noticed her, and he started to make it a point to, like, whenever he saw her, he'd go up to her, and they started talking. And then they ended up starting to date in November of 2011 and quickly fell for each other. Their friends described the relationship as he was clearly head over heels in love with her, and she seemed to enjoy the thought of being in a relationship.
I have encountered those situations before.
Yeah.
Not for me personally, because I'm me, but but I've certainly met people who I think they have either accepted engagements, if they're women, proposals.
Spoiler alert.
Because they, as one put it one time, she was more in love with the idea of being married than of like loving her actual husband at the time.
Yeah. Very quickly, we'll talk about something that I want to mention, something else. Okay. So in actuality, she seemed to avoid being around him alone as much as possible. So she, like, if he wanted to hang out, she would invite like a friend or tell him to invite friends, or she would have her younger brother come and hang out with them. So she just generally tried to avoid being alone with him, and also told him she wouldn't date a non-Christian fellow. And so he started going to church for her.
Interesting.
After only a year together, after a year together, they got engaged in November of 2012. So they got engaged, ended up renting a house together, and started planning their wedding. So Jordan was like really excited about planning the wedding and getting married.
But hold on, I thought she wouldn't marry a non...
Well, he started going to church and stuff.
Oh, but did he convert?
He converted enough for her.
Yeah,
to feel...
yeah, I get it. It's like close enough.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. Yeah. She was like really into like wedding planning and stuff, which I will never understand. Absolutely not. I wanted to elope and just like be married, but she was into it. So good for her, because that shit's not easy. And then, but like, according to her best friend, she wouldn't actually talk about what life after marriage would be like or anything like that. She would get quiet or change the subject. She was just like excited about the wedding and then like mystery. But throughout this all, don't worry. Mm-hmm. Even though they're living together, they were waiting until marriage to have sex. Sure. So they didn't, commit any sins.
That's what they all say.
Mm-hmm. So on June 29th, 2013, they get married. It's a beautiful day, surrounded by their friends and family. And Jordan like bawled her eyes out. Oh,
because she's happy getting married? Or very sad to be... Wait, what does it mean?
I don't know. One of those. So, yeah, they got married, and they went and they stayed at some like hotel that night to celebrate. And then after that, kind of resorts to normal life, I guess. And then on Monday, July 8th, Cameron, who is Cody's friend / coworker, goes into the police station and reports Cody missing because he hadn't shown up for work that day. So this is about a little over a week since the wedding.
Damn.
And Cody's friend goes into the police station and reports Cody missing. Cody is the guy who married Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cameron says, the friend, he says that he had first gone to Cody's house to check on him and found Cody's phone. So Cody didn't show up for work. Cameron can't get a hold of him. Cameron goes to Cody's house to check on him, and he finds, I guess he just like walks in and he finds Cody's phone in the garage, which was really weird because nobody's home and Cody's phone is just like in the garage.
I mean, if it's possible he set it down and then they left the house. I mean, you strike me as someone who forgets their phone.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Never. So it's just AirPods.
Everywhere. I leave those everywhere. Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
So Cameron begins calling Cody's friends and family, and nobody had seen him since the evening prior at a church group. So that would have been July 7th.
So someone saw him a day ago,
Yes.
the evening prior. Okay. But his friend hasn't seen him for a week.
No, his friend's seen him, but he didn't show up for work that day, which is really weird.
Oh, just that day.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Oh, but he's only been married a week.
Yes.
So married a week. And then on day 6, 7, 8 of his marriage. Nine of a marriage.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up to work.
Right.
His friend immediately goes to the cops and finds out that he was last seen the previous night at youth group.
Mm-hmm.
I am not that good a friend. I wouldn't even think.
I was shocked. But you know what's even more crazy?
What?
An investigation actually begins.
What?
Yeah.
Think of how many stories we've covered.
Where it's like, a week has passed. That's nothing.
Yeah.
They're probably off in the hiking Glacier National Park or something.
And this is literally a day.
Yeah.
Like I would have thought maybe they just had like a spontaneous trip they wanted to do. Or maybe he quit his job.
Well, I think part of it might have been that it was a small town. Because if you think of where we had grown up, I feel like they would have been like, oh, we have nothing else to do. Yeah, let's look into it.
No, there's so many homeless people to harass where we grew up.
Kidding me? There was like one.
Yeah. And there's actually growing up, I didn't see cops harass homeless people. It was more just if there was like any kind of traffic stop, all 4 of them would have to be there to like surround the car.
Yeah.
And be like,
so funny.
aha, you get a ticket.
Yes. So the officer wonders, why is it that Cody's friend is there reporting this and not his new wife? So she comes and sits down with the investigators and begins telling the evenings of July 7th. She says, well, the day of July 7th. They had gone to church in the morning, spent some time at the lake. Then at 5:30, they went back to the church. Then they went out with the church group friends to Dairy Queen for dinner. Then they went home. While at home, he got a phone call that lasted about 30 minutes, and the phone call left him really upset and agitated. As Cody was cooling off, Jordan realizes she had left her phone charger at work, so she left and went to get it. When she was away from the house, she gets a text from Cody that he's going out with some friends. When she, essentially, Cody got a 30-minute phone call. Jordan leaves the house to go get her phone charger because maybe they have different phones. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we have different phones.
Oh, yeah, I guess I have a different phone than I just have like 20 chargers. I don't know. Okay, so she leaves to go get her phone charger while Cody's like calming down from the agitating phone call he had. And then while she's picking up her charger, she gets a text from him saying that he's going to go out with some friends. While driving, when she arrives back home, she's pulling in just in time to see a dark sedan leaving their driveway with possible Washington license plates. Now, this raises the investigators' interest because apparently Washington is known for bringing in drugs. And he's like, oh, maybe it's some kind of drug thing.
These dang liberal states.
But Jordan, all that fentanyl, whatever.
Yeah.
Jordan says that he is that is a crisis. Not to just be humorous about it. Jordan says he's in that Cody's in a car club, and they would do this all the time. He'd have friends show up late at night, and this was verified. They did do this. He'd have friends show up late at night, and they'd go off to these dangerous roads, and he'd drive super fast late at night, like they'd race or whatever.
So it was a race.
Yeah, that's what they'd do.
Okay. So that's his idea of fun. Got it.
Yeah, he's a car guy. I think, I don't know, maybe if you work on cars, trying to make them go faster is something.
Yeah. It just, you don't have to do it in windy mountain roads is all.
Yeah, that's fair. Police are like, why did you not report him missing? And she's like, well, I thought he would just show up. It hasn't been that long. And I didn't want him to be upset if I went to the police and reported him missing when he just went out with friends for the night.
Has it even been 24 hours?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I don't know. He disappeared at 9 p.m. Sunday, and he's reported missing the next day.
From work.
Yeah.
So it's been not even 24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I think her statement is correct here. If she'd gone to the cops and been like, my husband's been missing since when? Since 15 hours ago, they'd be like, maybe he just is busy.
I think if Kobe was like, hey, I'm going to go play some board games this is what he does instead of car racing, some board games at a friend's house, and he left and he didn't come home in the morning, I would probably start calling his friends and family. And if nobody's seen him, I would go to the police the next day for sure.
No, I understand.
I'd probably go to the police by midnight.
I understand the spouse doing that. What I'm saying is the cops would typically give it a full 24 hours. They wouldn't normally say, oh, he's been missing for less than a day. Yeah, let's investigate.
Yeah. Yeah. Props to these cops, I guess, for
yeah.
believing Cameron. So police next talk to Cody's mom. She brings in a sheet, a Verizon, I don't know how, maybe she pays his phone bill, but she was able to get a sheet of all his phone calls, right? For the call information for July 7th. And there is a phone call that evening with a Washington State area code.
But wasn't his phone in the garage?
It wasn't, but do you remember? Oh, but they don't have a warrant or anything. They don't have it yet.
More what I mean is it may not have been him who placed that call.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even think about that. But they call that number and they talk to a guy named Jose who says the phone conversation was about a torque wrench that he was interested in buying and that he had an alibi. So he wasn't a person of interest. And it doesn't make sense that phone call would be the one that was agitating, because he was like, oh no, it's totally normal. I'm just we're talking about this torque wrench.
Torque wrench is code for drugs.
So police began canvassing the town looking for him. It's July 10th now. So it's been a couple days, 3 days. And a new lead comes up from Jordan. And she's like, hey, I got this email from this guy who says he's Carman Tony. And it gives an account of what happened to Cody. It's so weird. It says that Cody went and left with some friends and they went on a hike and he fell off a cliff. And police officers should call off the search.
Because he fell off a cliff, they should call off the search.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder. Yeah, maybe they should.
And so Cody actually has a friend named Tony. So police are like, okay, let's just contact this Tony and see if it's him. And he's like, hey, yeah, I know Cody. We drive together, but it's been quite a while since I've seen him and I didn't write that email. And he was cleared fairly quickly. So since the email said he fell off a cliff, they're like, hey, we live near Glacier National Park. There's a bunch of cliffs. And Jordan is actually the one who decides to go search there with her brother and some people. And so she leads this little search party that she put together. And she's like, I know we've spent time hiking together here, so like I know where I could look. And she stops the car and guides this little group to this cliff. And she grabs a rock and like tosses it over the edge and leans over and goes, oh, I think I see something.
Nice.
And getting down there was like exceptionally difficult. It was like a sheer cliff it was like 250 feet down of just sheer cliff. And it was not a trail. It was very much off the trail. And it takes them quite a while to get down there. Like they can't do it that day. They have to wait till the next day. So they have a full day of sunlight.
Considering a man might be down there, maybe alive, this seems... I would have liked some more urgency.
Fair. So they do manage to get down and verify that it is Cody and he is dead. So they had to minimize like handling his body and essentially act like, I mean, it's evidence.
Yeah.
So they put it into a sealed bag that's picked up by a helicopter. And police are now super intent on figuring. One more thing is a piece of black cloth is also found like near his body, but not on him. So they don't know, is this like just garbage? I don't know. So police are now super intent on figuring out where that Tony Carman Tony email was sent from and who he is. So they like put their super savvy IT people on it. And they also hear from a bunch of people, friends and family, that Cody's like terrified of heights. And no one can figure out why Cody would have gone off trail onto a treacherous cliff face.
Or why Jordan would know to lead them directly to it.
That too. So the maid of honor, Kimberly, comes in like on her own. And she's like, I just like have to tell you guys that Jordan comes from like a really religious and strict household, and she was kind of freaking out about her wedding night due to the whole like sex thing, and that she had told Jordan that like she needs to talk to Cody and communicate. And then she says that Jordan told her that she did talk to Cody and it had gone poorly and he was upset and she had left and spent the night at her parents. So like they're like clearly like having issues already, only from the wedding night on to like when he died.
Because, and it's relating to sex?
Yeah.
Or hangups around it?
Yeah. So police also wonder, hey, how did Jordan just like know where to look in Glacier National Park? It's not exactly a small area. And
yep.
At the same time, they managed to get the trace on the email and find out it was sent from the home of Jordan's stepfather, where also her mom and brother live and where she had lived and spends a lot of time.
Shocker.
Mm-hmm. And they're able to subpoena Cody and Jordan's cell phone records at this point now, and they are pinging them to show the location. And shocker, both Cody and Jordan were in Glacier National Park that night.
Remember, kids, don't take your phone with you if you plan on committing murder.
Yes. Or your car, if your car has like GPS.
Yeah. If it's past a certain year, they all have them now.
Mm-hmm. Not that we're saying commit murder. Don't do that.
No. Unless...
But be smart about it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll just like shit on you on this podcast.
Yeah. Don't commit murder.
It gets stupider. At the entrance of Glacier National Park, there's a camera that takes a picture of the cars coming in. And it got a picture of that night of Cody and Jordan entering the park, with Cody driving and Jordan in the passenger seat. So, a little bit more than 2 weeks after her wedding, Jordan is interviewed once again. And police just show her the picture of her and Cody in the car driving into the park. Gabe's face is just like, gosh darn it.
Well, I respect the, like, it's a very effective interrogation technique to present someone pretty damning evidence, and then you don't say anything because they'll attempt to fill the space because the silence can often ramp up their anxiety when they know they've like been caught in a lie.
Yeah.
So they'll tend to just like say stuff and often incriminate themselves further.
Well, yeah, she suddenly changes her story. She says that they had been having issues, so they went to Glacier National Park to discuss their marriage, as one does. And Cody had to go to the bathroom, so they both had kind of gone off the trail, and then they keep talking, and they got into an argument, and he had like grabbed her, and she like pulled away, and he had turned around with like his hands up on his head in anger, like frustration. And she had just gotten so like upset as well that she had just pushed him, and he fell and then stumbled and fell off the cliff.
So she just admits to murder.
Yes.
The second degree.
Yes, but like that it was fully an accident and the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I mean, second degree murder.
Yeah.
Not an accident, though. I mean, you're standing near a cliff, and out of anger, you push someone off the cliff.
But there's a few things to know. Like, yeah, she's fully admitting to it, but there's a few things. Like, when driving into the park, Cody had been driving, but clearly Jordan had the keys when she left. So, like, that's odd. Whenever Kobe and I go hiking, he always holds the keys because he has pockets and I don't. Mm-hmm. But regardless of that, like the person driving usually has the keys. So she would have had to have the forethought to get the keys from him.
That's good detective work.
It wasn't me who came up with it. It was the detectives. Also, next to his body, a black strip of cloth had been found. So Cody had been telling, I should have mentioned this earlier. So Cody had been telling everybody that Jordan had a surprise for him like that entire day, July 7th, and that it was happening that evening. And he didn't tell anybody this because I'm sure he's like a gentleman or whatever, but he seemed to be thinking that it was like something like sexual that was going to happen. So, and also he was terribly afraid of heights. So they're thinking that maybe she had been telling them that, had him put on the cloth around his eyes so he didn't see. And then she was leading him off the path and then pushed him over. And somehow during that time it had gotten ripped off because there was hair in the knot.
Oh.
His hair was found in the knot. So it seems like that might have happened.
But how would she acquire the keys? I guess she could have asked for them before.
That's what I was thinking.
But what do you... I'm trying to imagine why... Like,
hey, I forgot something. Can I have the keys really quick?
Yeah, you're right. That would do it.
You're making it too complicated. I feel
like I would ask for them back after.
Really?
That's the thing, yeah.
Why?
Because I'd be like, she's going to lose them.
They were married.
Married people lose things too.
Them? What? That's horrible.
If you don't have pockets.
Clearly. I mean, maybe she had pockets, or maybe she had a backpack. I was just saying that usually I make Kobe carry everything.
Fair. I guess she'd have a purse, right?
If they're I don't know. Yeah. But clearly she had the forethought to ask for the keys.
Yeah.
Somehow. And also like probably had a blindfold on him and led him to this cliff face and then just shoved him over, which leads to like premeditation. And so police, they arrest her. They secure an indictment against Jordan for first-degree murder and for lying to authorities. And the whole key debate of the trial was over intent.
What do you mean?
Was it premeditated or was it an accident? Was it first degree or was it second degree?
Well,
Because
I think first degree, because she clearly didn't have an actual surprise ready. Right? Like there was actually no present.
Right.
The present was, boom, cliff push.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it was premeditated.
That's what the prosecutors are going for. They're going for that. And even her younger brother, who had been with her when she found the body, he spoke in the trial against her.
Damn.
And
do you know what he said?
Just that this entire time she's like not been showing emotion, and that when she had found the body, she like didn't even act surprised. She was just like, oh, I think I see something. And he was just like, you brought this person into my life, and like we hung out a lot and I got close to them. And then like for this to happen, and then the fact that she lied for so long.
Sent a fake email. Tony the car guy.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So when her brother spoke, it was kind of just about how he had felt betrayed. Yeah, pretty heartbreaking. And where was I going?
Well, they're at the trial now. The prosecution is attempting to...
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's going so badly for her. Like even her brother spoke out against her. So she ends up doing a plea deal instead.
Pleads down to what?
She
Second degree?
pleads down to second degree for 30 years in federal prison with no possibility of parole.
That's a plea down?
Yeah.
That's basically a life sentence.
30 years? She's only 20.
Oh, damn. Wow. She's only 20?
Yeah.
She couldn't wait a decade to kill her husband like a normal person?
I think she literally just... You remember how like I was at the car place and he was like, what are you doing? And I panicked and I was like, getting breakfast for no reason.
Yeah.
I want to think it's something like that, where she just like had such pure panic that it led to her like doing this crazy thing. But then also like the whole premeditating it and lying and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know.
But what was the panic over?
Sex. She didn't want to have sex. And he was trying to pressure her.
Do you think she was ace?
I think that she was raised in a religious household that didn't... It was a taboo subject that she never really talked about. She was super scared about it because of this. And she didn't know what to do. Like, she didn't even feel comfortable talking about it really with her best friend.
I get the repression.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, people who are repressed still want.
Like, they get married quicker.
Yeah, like, because they want to do it.
Right. She could be ace.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is she was asexual and had no... Like now she's in the marriage and now she feels maybe a sense of duty to do it. But she's like, I really don't want to do this. Don't think about it. Don't.
Yeah.
That's a total side thing. Because that obviously that doesn't change any of this.
What she did. But it is a good point, because I was thinking, I didn't even consider that. I was like, oh, it's probably the whole, like, she was raised with this being a taboo subject and like she just freaked out. But that's a solid point. Yeah. Because usually there is that wanting to have sex thing. But
at least a curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't have that. She just had panic. Oh, it's sad. That's it though. Easy peasy.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty interesting.
It was. It's very interesting. It's so wild. And she never really, I guess she ended up saying like, yeah, I should, there's like other ways I should have dealt with this. I shouldn't have gotten married. But she never really seemed to have like genuine remorse. No,
I mean, I suspect, to use an outdated term, she's a sociopath, because the solution to her problem, like that's how a sociopath would solve the problem.
Like the funeral story.
Yeah. It should be like, I don't want to have sex with this man that I'm married to, so just push him off a cliff. Yeah. And then boom, I don't have to have sex. Like, that's exactly how a sociopath would just reason out the solution here. Whereas someone who is, even if they're ace and not a sociopath, they might consider counseling or therapy or talking about it or divorce or separation or any number of options besides murder on the 9th day of their marriage. Yeah. Yeah. It escalated real quick. Just like, well, I don't want to do this. Let's just push them off a cliff. Also, I feel like if she had just like been smarter about it, she could have gotten away with it. That's the motto of Murder Her. If she had just been smarter about it, she would have gotten away with it. Like, if she had, like, the police could tell that he was pushed because of the way he fell. So, like, saying, like... I meant to ask, how tall is the cliff? Was he facing up or down? It was like 250 feet of just, like, drop. Yeah. And they knew that he fell face first, and they could tell that he was pushed because of how far he landed. Yeah. Yeah, it literally becomes a physics problem.
Yeah.
Where you start, like, you can math out
Yeah.
how far someone who like slipped should have fallen from the cliff as opposed to someone who's pushed.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Was that all your questions?
Yeah, that's a really, really tall cliff. And well, obviously, you can die from falling from like standing height if you hit your head on concrete. Like that has happened. But
also people have survived crazy instances. So like after he did fall, she didn't know it was at nighttime. It was like after 10 p.m. when they were there. There's no way she would have known 100% that he was dead. So for her to leave and spend days lying when she didn't know he was 100% dead, like that again leads kind of maybe to the sociopath.
Like yes, but there have been people who have survived. I mean, there's at least a couple of women who survived falling out of planes. That was like 33,000 feet, and they survived and recovered.
Right.
But that's exceptionally, incredibly one in
saying
a
you
billion.
never know.
But beyond 50 feet, it's like typically a death fall.
Oof. That gave me chills because of the time Travis fell off the cliff. Remember with you?
Yeah.
Jeez, he got lucky. So
well, the cliff itself broke his fall, which is what helped because he wasn't allowed to fully accelerate. And the cliff was at most, I think like 25 feet.
Okay, I thought it was 50.
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't
Gabe
that tall.
and Travis went hiking one night like idiots.
No, it was day.
It was day?
Yeah, we just got down at night because it took so long to get back down after he fell.
Well, they went hiking, they went off trail, and they decided to climb like this.
Well, hold on. None of this wee stuff. I knew it was a sketchy idea. I went up the side on these big rocks, but your brother decided to climb straight up. And all I heard was him yell out as he fell. And then like you see him like bounce off the cliff. I mean, the nice thing is because you're falling kind of straight down.
Oh, that's true.
All of those mini hits you're doing against the cliff slow you down.
Yeah. And then he fell into a river.
Shallow thing of water.
Yeah.
And rocks. And he had a hole in his forehead.
Yeah,
his
he has
knee
a
was
giant
busted
scar.
open. His wrist was broken.
Mm-hmm.
But we managed to
covered
hike
in
back down.
poison oak. His face was so swollen.
That was a different time.
No, was it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You guys are wild. So yeah, anyways, then they hiked down at night and they got chased by something. Good times.
Yeah. It was. I think it was a mountain lion.
Yeah.
We couldn't see it. We could only hear it in the bushes. Actually, it was multiple because they were fighting with each other. I think over who gets to eat Travis.
Yeah. So anyways.
Well, luckily on a whim, I'd brought this 14-inch hunting knife I have. So like, I feel like that helps even the odds a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
You stick even a mountain lion with a 14-inch blade and...
I thought you were going to say on a whim, I brought this first aid kit.
No, I brought a first aid kit, but he told me to leave it in the van.
Oh my gosh. To be fair, you never think you're going to need it when you go hiking because like these trails are so whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, yeah. So falling off cliffs, that was like a small fall and that was pretty gnarly. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and this was hundreds of feet. I mean, a guy I went to, I met him in college. We took a backpacking class together.
Mm-hmm.
He, right before we graduated, he fell off a cliff and died. Very similar height to this. Like, just game over. Like, there's no...
Right.
I honestly don't even know what possible way one could fall to survive, like those women who survived the airplane fall.
I think we're thinking of the same woman, and her husband tried to like kill her by ruining her parachute.
Oh no, I'm thinking of one was a woman in like some Eastern European country. The plane like exploded in the air and she fell.
Oh wow.
And survived. And another, I think, she may have been American. I'm not sure, but maybe it was a parachute for her. I didn't read her story specifically. Yeah,
I've listened to this one story on, it was like, I don't know, some show called like We Survive or something. And she loved skydiving and her husband bought her like this skydiving not lesson, but like chance to jump off a plane.
Yeah.
And so she went, she didn't even like want to go, but since her husband bought it for her, she was like, okay, I'll go. And she goes and she does it. And it turns out her husband was trying to kill her and he like ruined her parachute so it wouldn't deploy. And she fell just straight down. I cannot remember how many feet it was, but it was like thousands. And she survived. Like literally there wasn't anything that she landed on that helped. It was just, she miraculously survived. She like broke like everything and like had some really, really serious issues. But
I would love to know what it is about the way they fall that makes one survive that.
mm-hmm.
Or is it just pure luck? Like, are your bones genetically just denser? Are your organs tougher?
I don't know. Maybe your bones are lighter like birds and you fall like not as fast.
There might be something to that because it tends to be women who live.
Yeah.
And women do have
lighter bones.
And because baby birds.
Hashtag osteoporosis, am I right?
Yeah. But baby birds will get pushed out of nests and stuff and survive these like crazy falls.
Yeah.
Because they're so light.
Right.
Maybe there's something to that.
Interesting.
But it wouldn't be enough. Like the overall, even like an average woman is just too heavy overall to.
Yeah.
Like you would accelerate to terminal velocity past a certain height and you would like, that's super fast.
Yeah. I don't know, but craziness. Cody did not survive, obviously.
Yeah. Otherwise I guess it would still be a murder. It would just be like not a murder story.
Not as sad. Yeah.
It'd be more like an attempted murder criminal story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So
I enjoyed it. I was hooked throughout the whole thing. I don't like Jordan Graham for many reasons. One of which is that, again, she has a first and last name that are both first names. And I don't like that.
I don't understand. Why wouldn't she have just taken him to Glacier National Park, like pretended their marriage was great, gone to Glacier National Park, and like, hey, let's take a selfie and do this. And then like just slightly push him off the cliff. Oh, because he was scared of heights. So he wouldn't have gone next to a cliff.
Yep.
He's making it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
She would have had to, I mean, I think she was on the right path with the surprise thing, but she shouldn't have lied about not being there, about not knowing where he was.
She should have immediately called 911, freaking out, been like, we're having a lovely little stroll at night.
Yeah. It's tough though, because when you push someone off a cliff, if you don't push them hard enough, they'll have more of a chance of grabbing you and taking you with them.
Ooh.
Or they just like don't fully clear the cliff and are able to grab onto something. And then you're like stuck. Right now you've attempted to murder them and they're alive. And what are you going to do? Kick them in the head to fall off?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. Her definitely biggest mistake was lying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Don't lie, guys, if you commit murder.
It's true.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you all. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our Patreon so we can afford new microphones because ours apparently don't play well with like recording separate tracks, one for each of us.
They don't like each other.
They don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you all.